Hey guys, so I hope that you're all having an amazing day. In today's video, we're going to be talking goals. So obviously I know that we're halfway through the year, but that's kind of what's motivated me to really lock in some goals for the end of the year, and like in terms of savings, really like set some goals for categories. So if you've seen the channel before, you'll maybe recognise this little glittery book. I was tracking our savings in here, so this is kind of what it was looking like. And in June I added in the extra categories that I created in terms of sinking funds. When I tried to fill this in for June, like it just wasn't working for me. I wasn't motivated to do it. I didn't do it properly. I didn't even put in the total, like it wasn't the one. And I think because I created these graphs, this was more the route I was wanting to go down, and I'd created the one for our debt payoff as well. So this graph is great in terms of it being our total savings, but I wanted it to have more of a breakdown. So I've created some sheets, and I'm going to go through them with you guys and show you what goals we've set and where we're at with those goals and what we're going to be doing moving forward. So let's just jump straight into it. Also, if you would like to see more videos from myself, I would love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I've got some really exciting videos planned for the future, and there may even be a face reveal video. I'm thinking about doing a pack with me vlog, so if you do want to see that, give this video a like and do subscribe to the channel down below. Anyways, let's get straight into the video. So if you did see my previous cash stuffing video, you'll know why I sound like this. If not, we're just going to move on. So what I've created here is a savings tracker, and I've made two different sheets because I've got a first priority and a second priority. So the reason that they're not all on the one sheet is just because I wanted to have room. I couldn't fit all my categories on here, and it was also quite good to pick what categories I wanted to go on what sheet, and in terms of priority. So up here we're just going to have the months, and these are my first priority categories, and I have already filled in my totals for June because we're obviously in July now, and at the end of July I'll be showing you me filling in these sheets here. So we're just going to go through it real quick and show you where we're at. So emergency 360, Luna 305, Christmas 200, birthdays 40, driving 240, penny challenge 408.55, digital penny challenge 409.07. So it's funny how both of the penny challenges are kind of like side by side at the moment, despite the fact that like physical penny challenge has not been planned. It's funny how that's kind of worked out. And then the next sheet is the rest of my categories. So we've got house and garden's got nothing, future bills has got nothing, honeymoon has 50, holiday has nothing. This holiday is not for like the holiday that we're on at the moment. This is for like a future holiday, so like booking another holiday next year. So business has nothing, rollover has nothing, and extra debt got 100. So that's just going to be me tracking at the end of the month where we're at. Then I created savings goals. So for this sheet I'm actually going to fill it out with you guys. I have had a bit of a think about like what I want our goals to be, but we are just going to fill them in real quick. So I'm just going to grab this blue pen. Okay, so really quick I'm just going to fill in the balances because I've literally just read them to you, so I'm just going to do that first. Okay, so in terms of these saving goals, factor fees has been added in. I didn't have that on the tracking sheets. I'm going to add that in at the bottom because I kind of forgot that I had added that category in until I made this sheet. So basically what this sheet is set up to do is we're going to have a priority for the category, and then the balance as of June, that's just like our starting point, and obviously we're halfway through the year, but that is where we're at. And then the goal, so I'm going to set a goal for each category, and it's not to be like, I would love it to be reached by the end of the year, but if a category doesn't reach the goal, it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of like where I would love the category to be sitting that would make me feel most comfortable. So obviously some of these categories will be getting used at the end of the year, like Christmas, birthdays is getting used throughout, that kind of thing. All of these categories have the potential to be used, but by me setting a goal, it just gives me an aim, and a bit of a direction that I want to be heading. And the same with the priority. Obviously I don't need to stick with just one category in terms of the priority. Like, emergencies are number one priority, I know that off the bat, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to fill any other category while I'm focusing on emergency. So I'm going to go through and talk you through our priority first, before we set any goals. So obviously priority number one is emergency fund. That is just kind of how I've been doing it from the start, and I think it's probably the most important to be filled. If we don't have Christmas filled, it's not going to be the end of the world. We just need to tighten the purse strings at Christmas time and not go overboard. But emergency is going to be there for, obviously, if emergencies happen, and that will be what we actually need. So that's going to be number one. In terms of number two, it's going to be Luna. And although we've got pet insurance for Luna, she has already broken her toe and it did not set properly, and because we didn't have insurance when she broke her toe, the insurance will not cover if her toe breaks again, and we got told by the vet it's very likely to break again just because it didn't set properly, like the cartilage didn't grow back. So because of that, we are going to have money there in case that happens. That's the only thing that, like, she isn't covered for by our insurance. But even if we do have to use our insurance, we have to pay, I think, £70 excess, so it's still good to have that money sitting there. Priority number three at the moment is going to be Christmas, and that is just because I want to have it filled by November. I'm very early when I start my Christmas shopping, so I would love to have it completed before December, like maybe even October, just because I do like to start shopping early, so I would love to get that box like ticked off. So that's going to be number three. So number four is a bit of a wild card. We're going to be putting factor fees as number four. So our factor fees come out every 6 months, and I have paid it in June. So I would like to just have the money ready to go, and it's not a huge amount of money. It's about £60 every 6 months. So I would love to just have that £60 off my radar, and I don't need to think about it. In terms of factor fees, I'm probably going to get it to the goal amount and then just not touch it until they request the money. It will get paid and then we'll start it again. I'm not going to keep building it up past its goal, whereas there are other categories that I will build up past their goal amount. So yeah. Number five I'm going to put as driving, because I really need a kick up the bum. I need to get on it with driving. My dad has a neurological condition which is taking effect now, and it's meant that he is stopping driving this month. So because of that, we do live local enough that I can walk to his, but I'm relying on my partner to take me to the shops to get my dad's stuff, and it's just, I would love to be able to take my dad on my own, or me and my dad go out for the day. Like, it would just make things so much easier. So that is like a high motivator for driving lessons. Number six I'm putting as birthdays, because it is a category that we've been using regularly, and I would like to have like just a base amount in there that if I forget about something, or if I'm not as prepared, then I can just dip into that money for someone's birthday. Number seven is going to be bank buffer. So as you can see, we've got no bank buffer, and basically if anything happens, we're in our overdraft, and because of that I just want to focus on building up a bit of a bank buffer. Number eight is going to be the business. So if you had watched my previous video, the budget with me video, you'll see that we have been allowed to stop paying a loan to our family member that had given us a loan to buy our boiler. So we had 6 months left on the loan, and they've said to just stop the payments and put the money towards the business, which is really lovely. I'm so glad that I've got people supporting me, but because of that, the business is at number 8, because I know that money's going to be going in there automatically. However, I do have purchases for the business that I've done on finance, so I do need to have money building up in there to pay off those items. Number 9 is going to be future bills, because you never know when something's going to happen. Like, I already had to take the money out of it because the factor fees, because I completely forgot that they existed. Because it happens every 6 months, it's long enough for my brain to completely forget that they exist, which is another reason that I've put them so high up in my priority, just to get them completely sorted. So yeah, future bills is number 9. Number 10 is going to be house and garden, because out of these 3 categories, we are here all the time. We're not going to be on our honeymoon all the time, we're not going to be on holiday all the time, so that is the next priority. And then between these 2, we're putting holiday at 11, because we're going to be doing that before the honeymoon, and the honeymoon at 12, because that is the last thing that's going to be happening, and it's also the last priority for us as a family. Basically, we're aiming to do our honeymoon in 2024, so we definitely do have time. We're not going to be having a big wedding, which is why we've got a honeymoon fund rather than a wedding fund, because the honeymoon we're going to go all out, the wedding not so much. So let's have a little look at our goals. I'm just going to go through the list from the start to finish here. So emergency, we're aiming for 1,000. As you may know, if you've watched the channel before, we are doing a challenge for our emergency fund that at the end of we will have £1,000, and we're doing really well with that. If you want to see where we're up to as of July, you can watch my cash stuffing video. In fact, all of these categories, if you want to know what's happening with them, my cash stuffing video, you can see what money's going where. And then for Luna, I'm aiming for 500. So I wasn't really sure what amount to set for Luna. I was thinking 1,000, but I think we're going to start with 500, and depending on when we reach that amount, we can either continue or we can put a pause on it. Basically, all of these goals are just going to be somewhere that I can pause and focus on something else. It's not a be all end all. Like, I'm not going to reach £1,000 in emergency and be like, right, I'm never putting money in there again. It's just more like, I've reached my goal, and now we can focus on birthdays or future bills and get those categories built up to a point where we're happy. So Christmas is also 500. Again, we've got a challenge for that. Yeah, you probably already know. And then birthdays, I'm putting 200 as the goal. So because we dip in and out of this category, I don't know like what I mean by the goal. So I don't know if I mean by the end of the year I want to have £200 sitting there, or I need £200 for the rest of the year for birthdays. Like, I don't really know what I mean by this goal, but we're aiming for 200. If we reach it, then great. If not, if we just keep dipping in and out of it, that's also fine. Like I said, birthdays has been the category that we've been dipping into the most out of our sinking funds. Then driving, I have set a goal of 500. So I'm obviously going to need more than that for lessons, but again, it's a starting point. And also, when it comes to my birthday, I am going to be asking for driving lessons, like a block of driving lessons, instead of any gifts or anything. So that is going to go towards that. Future bills, I have put at 100. So that's just like a nice little buffer for me, where if a bill comes out that I'm not expecting, £100 will cover it. And if it's something bigger than that, then it's an emergency. Do you know what I mean? Guys, if there's any weird cuts in this video, I'm so sorry, but I keep coughing. and I'm trying to make the video as seamless as possible, but if it is a bit choppy, that's why. But yeah, so future bills 100. I think that's a fine amount for that. For the business, I've set a goal of £300. So that would just make my life easier, having that £300 sitting there. However, like I said, I do have items for the business on finance, so I am probably just going to keep dipping into it. So in terms of house and garden, I'm setting a goal of 100. That's just kind of to start us off. I'm not really sure what the money is going to be spent on yet, and because I don't have a plan for what we're doing yet, I'm not going to set a higher goal. If I do figure something out in the next couple of months, then I can up the goal. These aren't all set in stone. So yeah, £100 for now. And then honeymoon, obviously we're going to need quite a lot, but because of my savings challenge that I'm doing, the savings challenge will save us £600. So I'm setting it at £600. So basically the challenge is complete. I'm setting the holiday at 500 because that's kind of how much we would spend to go somewhere. We would just be going somewhere in Scotland, so that is usually about how much we need. So then for our bank buffer, I'm setting it at £200. I don't really have a reason for that. That's just an amount that would make me feel comfortable. And then the factor fees is going to be 120 because that's how much it would be for a year of our fees. So you may have noticed that the penny saving challenges are not on this sheet, and that's just because once those are completed, they will be getting transferred into some of these categories. I'm not going to be keeping the penny challenge as its like self. So yeah. I'm now just going to show you the next sheet that I've created. So when I created this sheet, I found it really motivating to have the percentage of what we've saved based on our goal. So I created this sheet to track each category's goals based on percentage. So for June, I'm going to fill in all these percentages and just let you know like where we're at in terms of getting to our goals. So I haven't put all of the categories on here, but these are the ones that I mostly want to track. So yeah, let's just jump into it. I might speed through this bit because my throat is giving up on me. So I'll have put a little calculation on the screen to show you guys how I worked out all these percentages. But as you can see, Luna, driving and Christmas are all in the lead over emergency fund, which is an issue because we have just discussed how that's going to be our number one priority. So moving forward, when I'm doing my cash stuffing for August, I will bear that in mind and I'll make sure that emergency comes up into the lead. I don't want to stop stuffing the other categories, but I do want to focus my energy onto our emergency fund just to get it all ticked off. But yeah, I thought that this would be kind of motivating for me just to see the numbers going up. And obviously, if I don't have 100% in December, that is okay. It's just in terms of motivating myself to reach those goals. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you maybe want to reset some of your goals. At the start of the year, I found it really difficult to even imagine what a goal for our sinking funds could be, because obviously we were starting from scratch. So for me, setting £1,000 emergency fund just didn't seem realistic at all. But now that we're getting into it and that we're doing really well with our savings, I've found it really motivating to actually set some goals. So yeah, let me know where you guys are in your journey. Do you have goals? If you do, let us know down below, and I will see you all in the next one. Okay, bye guys, bye.